NBA fans, welcome back, guys. It's pouring outside. I just ran home because there has been so much that has happened since I have been in class. I've been in class since 2 o'clock, so that's 4 hours, and we got some wheeling and dealing going on around the league. Let's talk about it. Let's sit down. Let's analyze. Let's think bigger picture here, fellas. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the family, join the community. I am live streaming in a few hours. NBA draft. Be sure to be there. Be sure to be there. Let's witness Sixers history together. All right, first deal I saw was Cavs are trading Taurean Prince for Ricky Rubio and a second rounder. I wonder what that means. I wonder if Cleveland has bigger aspirations and maybe moving Rubio as just a contract type of expectation. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I'm soaked because it's pouring outside, not because I'm a big sweater. All right. The best time. All right, I'm done. Yeah. So, what does it mean? What does that mean? You know, I think Rubio is a decent basketball player. I don't think he's a great player. I think he's very limited in the NBA nowadays. He doesn't bring enough physically, defensively, like Ben Simmons does, to be able to be offensive as Ben Simmons. If that makes sense. But it makes me wonder, like, what is Cleveland thinking about this big guard situation they have now? I mean, they have Sexland. I'll say that at every opportunity I can, guys. Especially now that it may not last long. They have Sexland, obviously Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Ricky Rubio now. I just don't know. I don't know what their thoughts are. I don't know where they're really leaning towards in the future. I think the Cavs are one of those organizations who are just so entirely confused about their identity, which makes the number 3 pick extremely interesting. And I think the number 3 pick is something to watch. I say that because I think the Rockets, obviously the Pistons, are pretty set in their spots in the draft. I think Houston would love to trade up to get Cunningham, but I just don't think they will. I don't think they'll be able to match anything that the Detroit Pistons are interested in. So I think it's going to go Cade Cunningham, and a lot lately has been coming out Jalen Green at 2, which I simply, honestly, from my opinion, I think the Cavs are just in a very weird situation. I mean, they're going to have to sign Jared Allen to a near $100 million contract, probably. And he's a stereotypical, prototypical 5, a shot blocker, rim runner who is a good basketball player. And Evan Mobley may be available at 3, right? And so I think Mobley is one of the guys who can really play anywhere for any team with any situation. I think he's has the stretch ability to play 4 next to Jared Allen, but I just don't know if Cleveland loves that situation and really is willing to go all in on that partnership between the two without ever seeing them play, because it's tough. So maybe Evan Mobley goes 2, and then Jalen Green falls to 3, which there are just too many cooks in the kitchen. There are too many guys there that need the ball. I mean, Sexland, I said it again, doesn't work really well now. So, I mean, just adding another ball-dominant guard who tends to score and not look for teammates is not going to match well with Colin Sexton. And so I think the Cavaliers tonight are going to be one of the more interesting teams to watch, and I would be mindful of that if I were you guys, because I think they'll either trade Colin Sexton or Darius Garland or that number 3 pick tonight, or go Evan Mobley. But I don't feel strong enough about the Cavaliers front office willing to take that chance, willing to go on that opportunity with Evan Mobley and the Jared Allen combination. So it's interesting to think. It's very interesting to ponder. And then I saw another trade or possible trade of this Buddy Hield situation, and a lot is going on right now at the Lakers. Like, the Lakers are looking at Russell Westbrook, and there's a nearing deal. I can't speak today, I'm sorry. And then I wonder, like, okay, so let's say this Buddy Hield trade goes through, right? And the Buddy Hield trade, as I've read, and if this holds true, would land Montrezl Harrell, the number 22 pick, and Kyle Kuzma to Sacramento, right? And on Sacramento's end in this, I honestly, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think it's a pretty solid deal. I think Kuzma in Sacramento, I'm never going to say this usually about Sacramento. It's a good situation for Kuzma. I think it's a really good situation. It's an opportunity for him to get the hell out of the limelight, because I think that's his biggest problem. I think he is just one of those guys who is obsessed with his popularity over his play, and I think in a smaller marketed team, I think he has the ability to really thrive and really focus on his game again, really hone in on his skills. And for Kyle Kuzma's sake, I'm excited for that move for him. I think Sacramento is a really good home for Kyle Kuzma. I am a very big Kings fan. I mean, the Kings are probably my second favorite team, and they just need to get rid of Luke Walton, if we're going to be honest. But so they bring in Montrezl Harrell and say their team kind of holds as what it is now. I think the biggest problem with the Kings is they don't have a defensive identity, and they're just not a good defensive team. And Montrezl Harrell and Kyle Kuzma are not bringing anything on the defensive end at all. I mean, Montrezl Harrell is one of the worst defenders in the NBA, and who knows about Kyle Kuzma? I mean, he shows flashes of pretty decent athleticism on the defensive end, but I just don't think he's consistent enough to be called a good defender. But Montrezl Harrell is a guy who would be playing off of the bench for them unless they move Bagley, and it's just confusion. It's so much confusion on that end. But Buddy Hield was a big albatross contract that they've had, and it's time to move him. And I think for Los Angeles, it's a great fit, obviously. I mean, you need to surround LeBron James by as many knockdown shooters as you possibly can. And the Lakers just got done what I think the Sixers should have been gotten done years ago in acquiring one of my favorite players of Buddy Hield. I think Buddy brings just so much to a good team, but not enough to an average team to bad team. And if that doesn't make sense, I apologize, but I'll elaborate. Buddy Hield is a very good scorer, and he has great limitless range. He has deep range, and he's one of the better knockdown shooters in the NBA, but he's not great at creating his own shot. He's not great at going off ball and isolating on ball and just being the focal point of a team. And so in Sacramento, I think they had this expectation of Buddy Hield to kind of create his own shot and become more of a primary guy, but he's never going to be that. And I think he really thrives in a tertiary type of role, and a role where it's just a specific and specialist type of role on a good team, because I think that's what Buddy Hield is. And I think Buddy Hield, if a Los Angeles Laker next year, will be extremely efficient, more efficient than he was this past season, without a doubt, and just have a much better season. And as a huge Buddy fan, I hope wherever he goes, it's not Sacramento, and he succeeds. But that being said about what Russell Westbrook, I don't know what else the Lakers have to offer. You'd imagine maybe Dennis Schroeder, but that's weird to me. And what is Russell Westbrook's return nowadays? You know what I mean? I think that whole John Wall trade was weird. I don't know. I think it's so interesting to think about what Russell Westbrook can bring in for a return for a team. I don't know how many more picks the Lakers have. I don't know. I think it's one or the other, to be honest. I don't know how they'll land both Buddy Hield and Russell Westbrook. I'm interested to see, though. I think so far, the past couple of hours and the trades that have occurred, and I'm probably missing things, but just ideas that I've seen going on, I think it's going to make tonight. I think tonight's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be an extremely entertaining, extremely pivotal night for the NBA season. I think there's going to be a lot of moves made. I think there are going to be big moves. I think there's just going to be, obviously, the stereotypical trade away your second round pick for the 2049 second rounder. You're going to Furkan Aldemir. Who knows? I'm just talking now. Peace out, guys. Make sure you stop by tonight, 8 p.m., 7:45.